Oh, all right, guys. So we are here today. Jobless claims numbers. Nvidia ripping up again at 505. And this is what I always try to tell people like every big earnings report, you got people trying to shame the other side. And again, most of the time, like the people who are the most shaming are the most wrong. I've noticed a very common trend. That's coming out. Let me get some music playing. Hold on. Is my mic sound off? Is my mic sounding off today? I'm speaking right into it. It should be working. What's up, Scoot? I'm good. All right. All right, there we go. Mic is okay. All right, look at the NASDAQ and Nvidia real okay. NASDAQ and Nvidia pushing up. Nvidia looks good. All right. Hit the like button if you haven't already, team. We're going to do a poll. That's today's jobless claims and durable good orders. All right, so we're going to do a poll. Does today's jobless claims numbers cause bullish or bearish market action? Vote on that poll. Let me know how you feel. I don't know. I think what's going on in the market right now is mostly Nvidia starting to rise. I don't think it's choppy. I think what happened is that we had Nvidia earnings last night, and Nvidia was mostly choppy, and a lot of stuff was choppy leading up to it. I think this morning we've had Nvidia break over that range and start to test highs, and so you can kind of see like the SPY. You can kind of see the NASDAQ here pushing up this morning. Especially in pre-market, like it hasn't been choppy at all in my opinion. It's been like, look, it's a pretty nice trend on the upside here. I mean it's 7 a.m. so I mean it's not even 7 a.m. yet, so the liquidity is going to be down, but we definitely have a trend. It's not sideways, I would say. We'll see if it continues. And again, it's mostly from Nvidia looking strong now, starting to rip up. Nvidia up to 504, so you can see that right there. So I think that's kind of what's going on in the market right now. I don't know how Nvidia is going to do. I really don't know. I hope it does well, but we don't know. My black eye started. I thought it was starting to look better. It almost looks worse. I guess it starts to look worse before it looks better, huh? Now it's just kind of like a little black mark. It's all right. But yeah, so far, pretty nice little upward trend this morning. My equities portfolio is green as well. It's nice. I'll try to trade this break. Dow is actually down this morning. Again, the NASDAQ is up. NASDAQ's mostly up from, again, the NASDAQ's mostly up from Nvidia, which is, a big influencer on tech, pushing up a lot. I'm struggling to understand a bear thesis. I mean, I'll break it down for you, John. Again, I'm not really choosing sides here. I talked about this a lot yesterday with the Fed minutes report. There's definitely a thesis on the downside, and it's basically this. Nvidia's got a PE ratio of like 100 right now, which is very conventionally high. Nvidia typically influences the rest of the market in a big way, and a lot of people are looking at Nvidia to gauge what the market is going to do. And just the overarching point I'm trying to make is that Nvidia has a big influence over the market. Nvidia is also up in what a lot of people are considering really extended ways, even though they had good earnings, right? They had good earnings. That's not arguable. Their earnings were solid, good EPS, good revenue, good guidance, good earnings for Nvidia. The price to earnings ratio, which is the PE ratio, is very high for Nvidia and other microchip stocks. And so the thesis, the bear thesis, is number one, that Nvidia is up too much relative to how much it earns. Okay, that's the first bear thesis. And so with that, if Nvidia makes a correction to the downside, the rest of the market should as well, right? That's the first bear thesis, right? And I'm a bull. I want the market to go up, okay? But I'm telling you what it could do. I don't think we should ignore what it's possible to do as well. But that's the bear thesis. There's a lot of them, to be honest. The other bear thesis is we've raised rates really aggressively over the last year and a half, sometimes doing 50 basis points, sometimes doing 25 basis points. We've been really aggressive in our rate hikes. Rate hikes have a lagging effect. And so they don't take effect right away. It takes about a year for those rate hikes to start to push down markets like they're designed to do. And so, if we've had a lot of them, if we had a lot of them a year and a half ago, it's plausible to assume that those rate hikes are going to start affecting banks and other entities soon. That's another bear thesis, right? It doesn't mean it's going to happen. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just telling you, there's certainly thesis out there regarding bearish action. Now, will those happen? I don't know. The market sometimes is very difficult to predict. And that's what a lot of people miss out on, is that the market's difficult to predict. Usually the people who think they've got some golden system of prediction, or they take a very small sample size and they extrapolate it to long term and they think they're just going to get rich. When the reality of it is, the market's very difficult to predict. I mean, it's easy to predict long term. The market's going to go up long term. It's not really arguable. But short term, very difficult to predict. We're getting an A&D earnings situation again. Maybe. I hope so. I really hope so. We're green in our equities portfolio today. The other chance is that Nvidia, being a big moving influential stock, starts to make a run to the upside. Amazon and a lot, PE ratios are not the end all be all, is the counter argument to that. PE ratios aren't the end all be all. They haven't historically been the end all be all of price action and future predictions. And so, again, the other side of that argument is going to say, hey, well, PE ratios aren't the end all be all. We've had stocks that have made really parabolic moves to the upside that had high PE ratios and they've held. I'm sure a lot of people are going to bring up Amazon, very high PE ratio. If you look at Amazon, It's had a high PE ratio for years, and Amazon this year has gone from freaking $80 all the way up to 150 basically. So PE ratio is not the end all be all, and I think that's the counter argument to that Nvidia argument. Again, those are just the two different sides. I don't really pick sides here. You guys know that. The only thing I discourage here is shaming people for not agreeing with you. I think that's what a lot of people miss out on, is that like in these big earnings calls and these big FOMC streams, you got just toxic people that are just, they're just insulting the other side as much as they can. And again, what I see when I see that, I just see insecurity. Both sides might be right. I don't know. I think the PE just reset to 20-ish. No, I don't think it's that. Let me see. I can look at the new number here. Let's take a look. I'll calculate Nvidia's PE again right now. I don't think it's 20 though. I mean, maybe you might be actually right though, bro. Wait. I forgot. They had 402 EPS. Right. 402 plus 270. You might be right, actually. Hold on. Let me see. Plus 109 plus 88 cents. Wait. 0.88 cents. Oh no, I messed up somewhere. 402 plus 270 plus 109 plus 88 cents. This gives a yearly EPS of 869 for Nvidia. 869. It's at about 504. We'll call it 505. The PE ratio is about 58 right now, but that's a much more reasonable PE ratio, to be honest. It's a much more reasonable PE ratio. Much better, for sure. About half of what it was. It's a much better PE. Not a bad one, So a much better PE ratio for Nvidia. Under 60 now. And that's good. It's not 20, but yeah, it's not 20. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Again, jobless claims numbers. We'll put a poll up. So jobless claims unemployment. Drop at 830. Along with durable good orders. Jobless numbers are expected at, let's see what they're expected at. Let's look at Market Watch. They were expected at 229,000. Previously, they were 229, or previously they were 231. All right, there we go. We'll put that up on screen so people can see it. Nvidia dipping down a little bit right now. Also, we did take a small position here. What I do know is most companies beat earnings this season. Bull trap day. I don't know. Nvidia dipping down a little bit. Yeah, I really don't know what the market's going to do. All right, well, we just scalped a little bit on Top Step. We're up like 75. Where do you see the market from here? Where do you think the pullback will come? I don't know. I think the pullback is going to spark if we get one from Nvidia stock. I think Nvidia stock is over 500. You know, the lifetime high is not 506, but it looks like traders are treating it as such. You can kind of see this 506 rejection here. That's not actually the lifetime high for Nvidia. The lifetime high is way up here at 520, way up here. So again, it's not 506, but you know, it looks to be a support level, to be honest. So it looks like they're treating this level here like it's the high. It's not. Again, the high is 520 exactly. I'm down 5 figures on Top Step in the last 10 days. Then you probably want to chill out and stop trading, dude. Again, I mean, if the good thing about Top Step is that if you would have put up real money, you'd probably be down way more than that. You'd be down way more with real money. And so, I mean, again, if I were you, I'd stop trading for a while. You know, if you've had to reset that many times to where you're down that much, you know, I would paper trade for a while. You know, but as I always say, you know, not an investment professional, not liable if you lose. You always got to make your own assessment. I can't help people win in trading. I certainly don't guarantee that. You know, it's up to you. But yeah, just a word of advice: I would slow down trading. Yeah, sounds like over trading. Yeah, man. I mean, again, like at a certain point, like when does it stop for AMC? Like that's the problem. At a certain point, when does it stop for AMC? Like at a certain point, like when do people like recognize they're being manipulated by AMC community? Like by the AMC community. At what point do they recognize that? You know, like parallel that with me. All right, parallel the AMC community with me, right? What do I always tell people? I tell people I have no idea what's gonna happen, no idea what they should do. You know what I mean? Like, look, I've been funded in multiple Top Step accounts over the last few months, but I tell people I can't guarantee anything. I'm certainly biased in their favor. I certainly have bias in like my own ways for everything, and I'm always very transparent about that. And I have no idea what's gonna happen with the market. Right now, parallel that with the AMC community saying, hey guys, this crazy squeeze is going to happen. They'll ban anybody who says it's not. They'll put out these crazy conspiracies about how all this dumb stuff is going to happen and somehow the AMC shares are going to be over 1,000. Like, at what point do those traders stop, take a step back, and be like, yo, this is the 20th conspiracy theory we've had this year? Like, when does that happen? Because I feel like if I was in that community, I would have to look at it objectively at a certain point and be like, yo, these people are just pulling strings, like pulling me in different directions. Like none of this stuff is about to happen. They're just trying to talk me into not selling. You know, it's like the excuses catfish people give when they don't want a video chat. You know, sorry, I've been watching Catfish a lot lately. Entertaining show, to be honest. And it's useful, I think. But you know, when they're like, hey, let me video chat. Oh, I got in a car wreck on the way. You know, same thing here. Like, oh, it would have squeezed, but this one hedge fund guy did this, and like, come on, man. Yeah, that's the biggest thing I had wrong with the movie of Dumb Money. Like I bought the movie over this past week, and the biggest problem I had with it is that they treated AMC like, or they treated GameStop like it was undervalued, and it was not a pump and dump. They they um they glamorized it. They made it seem like it was undervalued and not a pump and dump for GameStop. Right? The company was undervalued. And the argument in the movie was that 25% of gamers still buy physical copies, you know? And it's like, okay, but you're still losing 75% of your gaming market that you had 10 years prior to it. And so, like, you've lost 75% of your business and you think that's a W. That's a bad sign. And so, again, the problem is, like, at a certain point, you got to call a spade a spade. GameStop was a pump and dump, short squeeze. Like, it was a short squeeze that did not hold. Looking back objectively, it never held. They can blame it on whatever they want to blame it on. And to a certain extent, maybe Robinhood freezing funds, you know what I mean? Maybe that did stop the squeeze to a certain extent. I can get down with that. I thought that was pretty sleazy of Robinhood. Vlad, we're talking about you, Vlad. But at a certain point, you got to call a spade a spade. It doesn't matter if Robinhood froze it or not. It was never holding. NASDAQ about to break highs of the day. Just broke highs of the day again. And this is mostly from Nvidia bouncing right at that volume weighted average price level. Look at that. All right. All right, so I'm making a post. It goes, genuine question to the AMC community. How many different theories on the mother of all short squeezes have you seen this year? Notice a trend? You shouldn't like to be... Here, let me edit this. You shouldn't like to be manipulated by people pandering to what you want. I am holding AMC shares long. Think about it. Bro, these crypto bots are the worst people in the world. Yeah, I mean, that's what it is, Paulo. It's confirmation bias. Like, people are stuck in it. They desperately want it to go up, so they overestimate the likelihood of it. Like at a certain point, like people should stop being manipulated. You know, at a certain point, you got to call a spade and just say, hey, like, y'all do me a favor, hit the like button, bump that like button, hit the notification bell. We appreciate it. Again, jobless claims today. Elon Musk made a post, what tangled webs we weave. Definitely you, bro. Out here having babies with everybody. All right, so again, we're building up a cushion. We're in the NASDAQ long, trading this long, up $20, $25. We got a little cushion. It's all going to depend on what Nvidia does, and if it can't push, then we'll just cover. It's all good. 25. You know what was a good freaking movie, bro, that I'm still bummed they never made another one? I was watching it with my son last night. Tron Legacy, dude. What a good freaking movie, bro. And how dare they just they sideline it? Who cares if it did well? The first one might do poorly, and then the second one would have done well, man. All right, so we're up 25, 30, 45. Boom. All right, so now we're up a cool 120 bucks, basically. All right, so we got a cushion here. Slowly building it up. Sam back? Is he really? Let's see. I mean, he was already back. All right, so OpenAI made a post 6 hours ago saying, quote, "We have reached an agreement in principle for Sam Altman to return to OpenAI as CEO with a new initial board of Brett Taylor, Larry Summers, and Adam D'Angelo." Good, bro. Honestly, what a dumb board prior to this. Like, bro, y'all are going to fire the dude that made all of this possible. Like, how dumb. I mean, it's not the first time that's freaking happened. NASDAQ's ripping up to 390s. It's not the first time it's happened, but like, especially this one with the vulnerabilities of stuff right now. Like, I don't know what they were thinking. What if it was some big thing to short? Like, what if they shorted it? But OpenAI is not public. Never mind. It's just my dumb conspiracy theory. So yeah, new board. They said we are collaborating to figure out the details. Thank you so much for your patience through this. And then Sam made a post that I love OpenAI, and everything I've done over the past few days has been in service of keeping this team and mission together. When I decided to join Microsoft on Sunday evening, it was clear that that was the best path for me and the team with the new board and with Satya's support. I'm looking forward to returning to OpenAI and building on strong partnerships with Microsoft, end quote. All right, so again, OpenAI bringing Sam Altman back. Hey, nice, Markson. What happened to all the bears from last night? No, bro. Yeah, like honestly, this is genuinely like this is my experience with this type of stuff. It's like during Nvidia earnings, the bears will just be in full swing, just shaming Nvidia traders, saying if you buy Nvidia here, you're dumb. Nvidia is going to crash. Just watch. Nvidia earnings are going to crash the stock. If you don't believe me, you're dumb. Just shaming people, insulting people, being as toxic as possible. You know? Then, like, we get on the stream and I'm like, yo, Nvidia is completely flat. Anybody shaming anybody on either direction is just insecure about their own positions. And then they come out and they're like, this guy's super critical on anybody making predictions. And it's like, no, y'all aren't making predictions. Y'all are literally insulting and shaming the other side. Like, that's toxic. And so be smart, guys. Understand you might, what's always good in the market, and I'm going to say this, what's always good in the market is to humble yourself and imagine if you're wrong, right? You always got to take the other side. Imagine if you're wrong. Very healthy thing for people, okay? If you got somebody you disagree with, imagine if they're correct and you eventually find out they're correct. Don't dig yourself into a hole making yourself look dumb. Like, always be objective. Understand that it's possible for them to be right and you to be wrong. It really is the Dunning-Kruger effect, I think, in stocks. I think the Dunning-Kruger effect is a real thing. The people who think they know the most definitively what's going to happen typically know the least, and especially the ones that are like shaming other people for the other directions. I don't know. I think OpenAI is going to help us produce a lot more. Again, Amazon at 144s right now. Green on the day as well. Yeah, gold over 2K. Gold sitting at 2004 right now. Had a really nice move. 2000's a big psychological level too. NASDAQ still pumping up. Nvidia still pumping up too. All right, a lot of people saying that getting CZ out of there is going to lead the way to the spot ETF approval. They're saying that BLK had to get CZ out the way first before they can approve it. What do you guys think of that? Should I buy? Nice. We're up nicely today as well. John Deere with bad numbers. Did we have earnings today, man? I didn't even notice earnings this morning. Sorry, team. It's basically just John Deere. We had GDS Holdings, Trimmer International, but basically just John Deere. John Deere had mixed results. It had minus 0.8% growth. NBA mortgage rates came out. They came out at 7.41%, so dropped a little bit. John, for scalping, what would be a good average win versus loss? I know locking in profit is important, but also cutting losers is important. I use a 1-to-1 ratio, or I try to. I'm not perfect at it, of course, nobody is, but like I shoot for a 1-to-1 ratio. And again, I'm not claiming to be the most profitable person ever. Like, I shoot for a 1-to-1 ratio. That makes it really easy. So like, if I'm trying to make $100 in the trade, I don't want to lose over $100. But generally, when I first start trading and I'm scalping, I'm looking for $20, $30, $40 gains, and that's it. And with that, same thing with losses, $20, $30, $40 losses. As I build up a cushion, I'm allowed to take larger losses as well as shoot for larger wins. And like that's how you should kind of scale your risk management, in my opinion. But again, I might be wrong. Do whatever you do. I'm not an investment professional, you know. And look at Nvidia, rip up still here, still moving up. Hey, what's up, Tiny? Nordstrom posted earnings. But yeah, Sam Altman returning. That should be big news for microchips and Nvidia as well. Looking at our poll, what's up, Beach Bum? Looking at our poll, 68% are bulls, 32% are bears. Again, let's get a timer up. We got about an hour. We got about an hour to go. See, a little bit less, or a little bit more than an hour, but that's okay. About an hour. There's a big on Simney. Hour for jobless claims unemployment numbers. So again, we'll put this up so you can see it. On jobless claims unemployment numbers drop at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Nvidia testing the top of the range, kind of flat right now, but trying to move. What do we have next week here? We got new home sales, consumer confidence, GDP data, jobless claims, PCE data. Yeah. So GDP and PCE data. Typically it's kind of backwards, but we got a lot of stuff next week that works great. You know, PCE data is expected at 0.3% month to month. Nvidia dipping down a little bit. Q's not really pulling back enough for me right now, but we're watching it. So $1.3 billion in user funds was withdrawn from Binance. Hey, what's up, Sam? Toast and coffee. Yeah, I mean, that's what I do. What do you think would be considered too hot of jobless claims to show damage in the economy and not cooling? I don't think any. I think higher jobless claims is going to be seen as positive right now. So yeah, I think higher jobless claims the better today. I think inflation is still a worry, and again, what Powell has said many times is that he wants the job market to cool, and so I think higher is better, lower is worse right now. We also have durable good orders, which might give us like some influence here. They are expected at building something over here in the background. I'm trying to send this. Maybe I should remove this. I gotta extract it. There we go. Took your not advice and closed my Netflix shorts. Hey, yeah, I mean, again, it's not advice for me, bro. I have no idea what Netflix is gonna do. I appreciate the don't know though, brother. All I'm saying, like, okay, let me. Okay, I think Netflix is up a lot right now. I think Netflix could pull back short term. I think long term, it's a risky bet. You know, again, I'm not saying you shouldn't do it. I'm a bull though, and so that's my bias is I'm bullish, right? But I appreciate the donation. Just be careful, brother. Again, I have no idea what Netflix is going to do. I think it's gone up for 4 weeks in a row with the rest of tech. You know, I just don't think you should try to catch a falling knife. And again, that's me. Do whatever you got to do. I guess my point is like I don't want Netflix to pull back some and you be like, see, I should have stayed in it because I have no idea what it's going to do. Nobody does. If it's a long-term bet, though, you know, I'm more bullish on Netflix on the upside. But again, it's up a lot over the last 4 or 5 weeks, so just be careful. Hope you make money on it, bro. Appreciate the donation too. Yeah, I'm in Walmart as well. Long, yeah, although it did pull back some. We're green on the day today. Yeah, Tesla's been great. I'm in Tesla also. Still just kind of sitting in it. All right, guys, we got about an hour. All right, so again, Tesla at 243s. Yeah, you just see the problem is like I made this post about AMC and like I just hope people hear me. Like the problem is that there's so much like confirmation bias, patting each other on the back. They tell people anybody that is skeptical or anybody that stops wanting to be manipulated is somehow FUD or whatever in AMC, and it's just like, come on, man. Like at a certain point, you got to call it a spade. And I think with Tesla specifically, it's something in which, or with AMC and specifically, it's something in which, there's just been so many different people pushing a mother of all short squeeze scenario, and it never has happened in years and years and years. And so at a certain point, they are just stuck in AMC, hoping it goes up, making outlandish claims regarding it, manipulating a lot of other retail traders into sitting on it instead of selling. That's all that's going on. Nvidia is being sued after an engineer during a video conference call with his former employee, Vallejo, shared his screen showing a file that contained data he had stolen from his old job, according to Bloomberg. I guess I'm pretty bullish on crypto after Binance resigned, or after the CEO of Binance resigned. The reason I'm bullish is because I think they did that intentionally as a way to get him out the way so that they could get the spot ETF more easily approved. What's up, Yair? Well, Nvidia is already up so much already. Oil today. Is Tesla the most valuable tech stock? I don't know. I don't know what's the most valuable stock. Very subjective thing. Define most valuable, like I don't know. All right, where's Apple? Yeah, I mean, Apple's the biggest stock in the world, right? So Apple's the most. Apple is the largest market cap company in the world. Apple has a market cap of. It's either Apple or Nvidia right now. Let me see. Nvidia has a cap of 1.234 trillion. Apple has a market cap of almost 3 trillion. So yeah, Apple is the largest company in the world. And so if that's what you gauge value with, it's Apple. Apple's the most heavily weighted stock in the world as well. So like when you look at the S&P, you look at the NASDAQ, Apple takes up the largest percentage of those two index funds. So depends on how you gauge it, of course. John, what do you think about super micro SME? I don't know. I don't know enough about it, to be honest. I've heard a lot of people talk about it. It's got a great long-term chart, or at least a decent long-term chart. Yeah, it's got a, but it also, the run recently started with it. I think it's one of the more interesting short-term ones because it could be earlier in its growth phase. So make it a more longevity filled growth, if that makes sense. Like there's more longevity in the potential future growth of it since it's earlier in that trend. It also might just be a push up and then down play that goes up big and down big. I don't know enough about the company itself. I think there's potential in it though, just looking at the chart. What's up, Jonathan? What's up, Jamal? Is today a big deal? It's not the biggest deal, but it's something. So Disney said the new collective bargaining agreement with the Directors Guild of America, WGA, and SAG will lead to increased costs. They plan to launch an ad-supported Disney Plus service in additional international markets in 2024. What's up, Danny? Will gold double next year? I hope so. It's unlikely though. Yeah, I mean it could. It's just not like super likely. Gold right now is at 2,000. You know, to put it into perspective, over the last year, gold has gone from 1700s to 2004. You know, gold has actually been pretty flat over the last 3 years. The difference though is that for the 10 years prior, it doubled basically. So 10 years ago, in 2013, gold was at about 1,200. Really, if we look a little bit farther back, so if you look back 13 years ago, gold was at 1,000 13 years ago. It made a huge run in the early 2000s, leading up to the mortgage crisis. But yeah, so basically, gold was $300 an ounce back in 2000, about $300 an ounce. Today, it's $2,000 an ounce, so it's up a lot. Gold has been the best performing asset over the last 25 years, without question. It beat the S&P, it beat the Nasdaq, it beat the Dow, it beat bonds for sure, of course. It beat real estate to a certain extent. It's been one of the best performing assets. Maybe real estate might be arguable depending on what the appreciation. Let's see how much has real estate appreciated since 2000. Yeah, it's not even close. Real estate's only up about 106% since 2000 as of October of 2020. Now, we're definitely up some since then. All right, so let's see. Here's the Case-Shiller. Yeah, so the average home price has gone from about $108,000 in 2000 to about $300,000 right now. So it's gone up a couple 100%. Yeah, I mean, gold, DCAing into gold over long-term periods is a pretty proven strategy for sure. We got 45 minutes here, team. 45 minutes. Yeah, so again, I'm gonna have to watch this Game of Gold poker show. Anybody watch it? Is it good? Again, Tesla at 243s right now. So Tesla's still looking pretty strong. Nvidia testing the volume weighted average price. Maybe we're at a bounce level. We got a small cushion on the day that we're trying to work with right now. But the Nasdaq hasn't really pulled back enough for me to be interested in this. Again, we've been in a very strong trend on the Nasdaq. If you look at the futures market, it's even more profound of a trend. You know, so like if you look at the futures market here, let me make sure you guys can see this. Yeah, so again, you guys can see this. Like look at the trend in futures. like very obvious trend. I might have to fix this a little bit, but basically we've been trending on a 1 minute chart. 5 minute chart is probably better, but like that's the trend we've been in. Look, here's the same angle, right? So that's the same angle. So this is the same trend. Look at that trend. We've been in that trend. And again, you can kind of see, here's the futures contract at the NASDAQ. Here is the Q, which is the same price action. You can notice the futures market has actually better liquidity, but it's the same thing right here. And so again, the NASDAQ hasn't quite pulled back enough for me to get interested in it. Nvidia finally starting to dip, still over 500. I think we should watch 500 for like a cup and handle breakout strategy. I also think it's possible that Nvidia corrects to the downside. Yeah, for sure. All right, so we're down to 500, down to 500. Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's what I talked about. If Nvidia corrects back down, the market's going to correct down too. It's not really arguable. That's just what's going to happen. I've been using Nvidia as a pairs trade in the market a lot lately. And so that's what we're going to be doing today as well. We're going to be pairs trading the market, watching Nvidia a lot. That's what we do. It's been working really well. You know, again, Nvidia is going to dip. If Nvidia dips, the NASDAQ's going to pull back with it. We can look at the SPY as well. Here, we're right at the previous closing price for Nvidia. But you can see the SPY doing a very similar thing to it. All right, so Needham reiterated the buy on Nvidia, maintained a $600 price target. We're right at the previous close, right at the $500 level. This is a big level. This is a big spot. All right, let's see if we bounce here. We're right at that $500 level, right at that spot. Let's see if we hold. All right, so now we're dipping down under this spot, under the previous closing price, under the $500 level. Let's see if we retrace quickly or what. But again, that means we're completely flat on the day for Nvidia, completely sideways, neutral. Yeah, again, what happens right now is going to depend on Nvidia and Tesla. Also, Tesla up a lot today, but yeah, I don't think Nvidia is waiting for jobless claims numbers. I think jobless claims numbers are going to have an impact, but I think Nvidia is going to kind of it might be influenced some by these, but it's not going to be influenced a lot, you know. All right, so again, Nvidia right at $4.99, technically red on the day now, under that previous closing price. Again, a lot of people watching it to see if we potentially bounce. Yeah, it's right at that level. It's right at that previous close level. Whole market's watching it right now. Let's see if it holds. Again, do me a favor, hit that like button, guys. We have 79 likes. We can break 100 pretty easily, I think, right? Hit the like button, team, if you haven't already. We got over 400 people here, so we should be able to hit that. Well, if they're in options, sure, they're probably going to be IV crushed a little bit if they bought recently from earnings. That's pretty standard. That's what happens. Oh, I got to change this song. All right, so Nvidia popping back up a little bit here, team. Nvidia back up to 500. It's a big psychological level. It's $500. Nvidia now technically green on the day again. We still got over 35 minutes until the numbers drop. All right, Nvidia back over 500, still churning up. Hey, there we go. Thanks so much, guys. We broke 100 likes. I appreciate the love. Thanks. List what you're thankful for in chat. I'm thankful for you guys. I appreciate the love, guys. Really, my channel's grown a lot the last couple months. Shout out to Pawn, my mod, for helping me grow the channel. But check out this growth, team. Check out this growth. Check out this growth. Again, 21,000 views for Nvidia earnings, 12,000 views for the FOMC minutes report, 6,000 for jobless claims, 10,000 for PPI, 18,000 for CPI just in the last week. That's just the last week. 13,000 for Powell's press conference, 27,000 for Powell's other conference. AMC earnings got 9,000. Just appreciate the love. 12,000 for Apple earnings. It's just been a really fun couple months, to be honest, team. And I appreciate the love. I really do. Thanks so much for helping me grow. I'm grateful for this community. Thanks so much, team. Genuinely appreciate the love. And yeah, thanks so much, guys. Yeah, I think one of the reasons we're growing is we're just consistent with what we post. Like, people know they can tune into me for economic reports, for earnings. They know I'm going to cover it. They don't have to worry about finding it. They can just tune into the channel, and they know we're going to cover it. They know we're going to have it. And so, again, appreciate the love, guys. Thanks so much for the growth. Yeah, I got a YouTube play button. That's right here. I've had this, though. They sent me this a long time ago. I'm going for that gold one. You know. Hey, thanks, Straight Jacket. I appreciate it, brother. Thank you, man. Thank you, Wesley. This is the first place we check for all the news. Yeah, that's what I wanted, man. I wanted people to have, like, again, my big thing is, like, I don't sell a course. I don't sell a service myself. I don't claim to be an expert. I just report market stuff. Like, I just cover earnings. I cover economics. I cover big data. If you want to know if something's big or not, join my stream. I'll be honest about it. If it's not that big, I'll tell you it's not that big. If it's really big, I'll tell you it's really big. And so I just wanted to give people a place that they could find that stuff, and I appreciate you guys helping me grow it. Oh, my guy. GM, don't be salty, brother. You know, don't be salty, dude. It's not a good look, man. Always got the haters. Hey, this part of it. Listen, when you're doing something cool, people are always going to be jealous and insecure about it. And so, listen, that's all right. I certainly do love the money, too. Let's be real here. I certainly do love the money. I mean, I'm going to be honest for a second. But that should be understandable. I mean, listen, we're here to make money. That's what we do here. Like, we're not doing this purely out of the kindness of my heart. Of course we're not. Nobody is, right? If they tell you they are, they're probably just trying to talk you into something, you know? And so we provide a value here. And again, I'm thankful for this community. I appreciate the love. Skynet. We'll see if Skynet dumps. Tesla red candle. Yeah, Nvidia under the previous closing price, under the $500 level. That's a big psychological level too. So again, we'll see if we hold. But I mean, if I was a hater, I might be kind of insecure about it too, because like, you know, like you're hating on this guy, like you're telling him that he sucks, but then like he's getting, you know, thousands of people watching. I mean, listen, you might, if I were you guys, I might be kind of insecure about it too. It's all right. Let it out. I got the smooth sounds of John in the morning here. Who wastes time without nothing in return? Yeah, 100%. You got to be pretty, you know. Woke up to beautiful John. I mean, a beautiful 1 hour US oil candle. Hey. Yeah. Good day to you, sir. Every analyst is raising Nvidia price target this morning. Nvidia's dumping down. It just broke down under some pretty big levels, though. Some pretty big levels. We're at 498.50s. And so again, we're under 500, which is a big psychological level. We're also under the previous closing price. So we are under the previous close. Those are two pretty big milestone levels. You know, for jobless claims numbers, I would watch these two spots. Like if you look at this general area right here. If you look at this general area, we got three major things, right? Let's talk about them, okay? We got the 200 EMA, right? The 200 exponential, very big milestone level. A lot of traders watch it. I don't like short-term moving averages because they just don't work that well. Like a lot of traders love all these 12 and the 28 and the 23 and all these ridiculous moving averages that basically just stick to the candlesticks, right? They don't really do anything, in my opinion. I like milestone ones, like ones that everybody else watches, and the 200 EMA is probably one of the most watched moving averages that you can put on a chart. It's a long-term moving average, so when we cross over or under it, it's just a much more significant event in that stock's price action, right? So we got the 200 EMA. We've got the previous closing price, which is the red to green level on the chart. It's the point at which the stock goes from red to green, green to red. Again, another milestone level that traders are watching. And then we also have the big one, which is $500. Every trader is looking at $500. It's human nature to watch the big milestone prices like $500. And so we have those three areas right around where we are now. And so what does that mean? That means we're choppy, indecisive. We don't know what we're going to do here. Y'all be careful. Okay, we're right around all of these big spots right here. And again, we'll see if we hold. Yeah, all good, pawn. Like I said, what they're really trying to do is get me to go off on some big rant, and I'm not going to do it today. I'm not going to do it. Again, I'm going to thank you guys for the growth and the support. You know, cheers to you guys. Appreciate the love, guys. Thanks so much. Hope you guys have a happy and great Thanksgiving. So we're right at 499s. All right. China pro banks after property developers default, according to Bloomberg. All right, team, we still got 30 minutes basically until this jobless claims numbers. I use anchored VWAP. Yeah, a lot of people like anchored VWAP. I think anchored VWAPs can be powerful, Todd, for sure. What's up, dude? It moves so fast. John Deere earnings came out. I'm pretty sure they came out neutral. Split is what I'm pretty sure. What is Deere? DE. It's DE. Yeah. So Deere posted. Let me see. So Deere. Bad guidance is Deere. What Deere posted bad guidance. So that's what happened. Earnings outlook is well below forecast. Net sales declined. Fourth quarter earnings increased, though. Did better than expected. But again, guidance is bad for Deere. That's why it's down so much. All right, so here's the Q. Again, having a little dip to 390s right now. I sometimes feel like the dude in the movie that goes crazy from seeing too many chart patterns. Yeah, it's an old 90s movie. I can't remember what it's called, but it basically a guy trying to he's basically a guy trying to crack the market algorithm, like the algorithm behind the stock market, and he starts seeing patterns that aren't there. It's human nature. It's Pi is the movie. Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's what it is. Thanks, John. You are an important part of my morning. Hey, thanks so much, man. I appreciate the love. Thanks so much. That's how you know you got haters. When you thank everybody and people criticize that, you know you're doing something right. Tesla, again, helping the market a little bit. Nvidia testing 500 right now. Remember, we're right around these 3 milestone levels. Look at that rejection. We are right around these big 3. Again, previous close, $500 level, 200 EMA, right? We're right around those 3 big levels. It might be big resistance, might be big support if we can break back over it. But at this point, we're underneath it, so it might act as like a major resistance level, which is what it looks like at this point. Look at that level. We talked about 500. We tapped it, and now we're rejecting on it again, but we are testing it now. Look at this. So we're pushing up to 500. We're testing 500 right there. We're at it right now on Nvidia. And again, Nvidia is moving the entire market right now. Nvidia is what's moving the market for sure. All right, testing 500 again. We're right at 499.80 here on Nvidia. There's 500. We're back over the previous close, so we're technically green on the day now. Technically green. If we get rejected at 500, it's probably going to drop the rest of the markets with us. All right, so big pop over 501 for Nvidia, dragging the NASDAQ back up, holding at 390. All right, so again, we do have durable good orders today. So it's not just, so again, we got durable goods, jobless claims, and then consumer sentiment. Let me see which consumer sentiment report it is. There's a couple different ones that drop on consumer sentiment. We're now back. Again, we were over those 3 major milestone levels. We're over the 200 EMA. We're over the $500 level, and we're over the previous closing price. So that's all pretty good. Okay, so we got Michigan consumer sentiment is today. It's one of the smaller ones. It's not really a big release. Like Michigan consumer expectations and sentiment is what this is today. It's not the biggest one. It's not like CB consumer confidence or jolts or something like that. This is pretty small. Somebody said Nvidia 300 by December. Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not against you bears. Like bears at home, I'm not against you guys. I'm really not. Like I understand being bearish, especially on Nvidia. I understand. As long as you're not toxic about it. The problem with a lot of bears is that they're toxic with it. Like they treat it like it's the Bloods and Crips. Like they are out to hurt the other side, and it's just a silly mindset. It makes you too rigid in your beliefs as well. I think like smart traders go both sides, like go both ways in trading. Like they take both long and short trades. They don't like they're not super rigid to only one direction. And again, especially if you're like that, if you're very rigid, specifically only targeting shorts in healthy blue chip companies, I can't think of a worse trading strategy to do in blue chips is being only short in the biggest companies in the world. I think that's a very silly trading strategy. Again, I get it. People want to short. Maybe you're pessimistic. Maybe you're skeptical. I understand. I'm pretty skeptical as well. You know, I always joked around and say like I have the debater personality type, which again I'm skeptical on whether the Myers-Briggs personality test actually works. But it is fitting. Again, it's a really slippery slope though, because I've said it before. Like the debater personality type, it's one of those things where it can be kind of like a horoscope, or kind of like those people who say they talk to the dead, where they're just kind of telling you stuff that you want to hear. Like a horoscope will be like, yeah, you're so smart and you love your friends and you care about family and you're really compassionate and loving, and smart. And anybody that hears that is like, oh, I'm smart. That's got to be me. Wow, how did it know I'm smart, man? They knew, it knew I care about family. Wow. And so you got to be careful with some of that, because they're just telling you stuff you want to hear. AMC community, I hope you're listening to this. But yeah, they're just telling you stuff that you want to hear. And so it says the ENTP personality, which is what I got when I took the Myers-Briggs personality test. It said are often described as innovative, clever, and expressive. ENTPs are also known for being idea-oriented, which is why their personality type has been described as the innovator, visionary, and debater. They tend to be bold. Oh, wait. Oh, no. Quick-witted and audacious. Debaters aren't afraid to disagree with the status quo. In fact, they're not afraid to disagree with pretty much anything or anyone. Few things light up people with this personality type more than a bit of verbal sparring. And if the conversation veers into controversial terrain, so much better. It would be a mistake, though, to think debaters are as disagreeable or mean-spirited. Instead, people with this personality type are knowledgeable and curious with a playful sense of humor, and they can be incredibly entertaining. They simply have an offbeat, contrarian idea of fun, one that involves a healthy dose of spirited debate. And again, I'd like to say that's me, you know what I mean? But it also might just be telling me what I want to hear. I would love to think that I'm, so you got to be careful with stuff like this is my point, because to a certain extent, they're just telling you stuff that you want to hear. And so everybody wants to hear that they're clever and, quick-witted, you know what I mean? But it doesn't mean you are. Doesn't mean I am, Yeah, that's right, guy, I short because it's playing stocks back to reality makes way more sense than me trying to notice patterns of when a stock is about to spike. I get it, Jared. 100%, brother. I understand. Short term, that's a fine mindset to have, Jared. Okay. Long term, most blue chip stocks are going to move up. And that's not really something that you should bet against, in my opinion. Long term, almost all blue chip stocks are going to move up. That's the natural flow of stocks, is that broad market index funds, blue chips, most of them, some of them are going to fail. Obsolescence happens and stuff, but most of them are going to move up. And so you have to understand that and use that to not be too rigid long term in your directions, I think. Oil is tanking like no one's business. US dumped 13 million barrels, more than expected. Gold is up a lot as well. Gold is up to over 2K. Fighting trend is always a losing proposition. Right, for sure. In long term, the trend is up. Well, you can give a technical or fundamental argument for why it's bearish or bullish. That's fine. Any stock with 100 plus PE ratio is a risk. Yeah, but Nvidia doesn't have 100 PE anymore. It has like, I think it was like 59 or 58 is what I calculated when I did it. A couple months ago when AMC was given a 50-cent price target, everybody was like, what? Yeah, I agree 100% of short crappy penny stocks. Yeah, I'm for it. I mean, listen, I'm not telling you you should do it. Again, penny stock defenders, don't get mad at me. I'm not shorting them. But like, I understand people that do short penny stocks because penny stocks are crap. They're terrible companies. Psychics always tell their customers that people are jealous of them. Yeah. Again, if you're referencing me earlier, saying people are just jealous, I don't think it's a out there thought to see that people that are joining your stream day in and day out and just trying to poke at you and insult you are probably jealous. I think, you know, most people can see the correlation of that and understand that that's probably what's going on. The people themselves might not, because again, like they're in their head, but like, you know, I used to love penny stocks. I used to love them too. I never invested in them though. Like I would buy penny stocks. I even played with some lottos where I would buy up really cheap penny stocks hoping that they would run big. You know what I mean? But like I would day trade them. And even then, I don't think the edge is super high day trading them either. You know, Nvidia PE is not 120 anymore. Yesterday, they posted an EPS of, what did they do yesterday? Yesterday, Nvidia posted what EPS? It was like 4 something. Right? And so that's going to benefit their yearly EPS ratio. PE ratio, what a P yeah, Nvidia had a EPS of $4 plus yesterday. And so again, PE is taking the yearly EPS, so adding up all 4 quarters EPS and then dividing that by the share price. And so you would take basically 501 divided by whatever the PE is, or whatever the EPS ratio is for that year. And again, when I did it, it was like 59 or like 58. So it's not over 100 anymore because their EPS pushed them higher. So, yeah, oh, for sure. Confirmation bias is a big thing, you know. They tell people, hey, you're going to win the lottery, or hey, you know, you're going to do all this different stuff. 100% I agree. AMC, GameStop, Space, Rivian. Yeah, I was always skeptical of space because I thought the space industry was incredibly expensive and it's very hard to monetize. And so, especially with the Virgin Galactic dude, like I was always really skeptical of it. I didn't think it was I thought it was going to be a long time before they earned money, if ever. And this was when I was saying this stuff years ago, whenever this was $30, $40, $50 a share. And again, I wish I would have shorted it because I was absolutely right with it. It's down to $2 a share now. It was at 50 plus at its high, 60 plus. So I wish I would have shorted it, but it's all good. We got 15 minutes here, team. 15 minutes. We got about 600 people here. Y'all slap the like button, hit the subscribe button. I appreciate the love. Thanks so much. XOM. I'm in ExxonMobil. It's down a lot. I mean, I'm not down a lot. I'm only in 10 shares. Average price of 106. So I'm down $35 in Exxon. But I've been in it for a minute. I almost took profit when it was really high up there, and I didn't, and I'm kind of regretting it now. When it was at like 120s, I was up like $100. Didn't end up taking it though. Tesla's still bouncing, and again, one thing that you can see, the Nvidia, like look at all 4 big milestone levels right here on this chart. So Nvidia is over them. It doesn't mean it's going to hold, especially with jobless numbers coming out pretty soon. It doesn't mean it's going to hold because look, previous close, $500 level, 200 EMA, volume weighted average price, right? We got 4 pretty big milestone levels on the chart right around us for Nvidia. I think it's important to watch. Again, jobless numbers are expected today. Along with durable good orders, they're expected at 229,000. Hey, thank you, Sean. GameStop is not the play. The question I have for GameStop is always the same one. What does their business look like if they're going to succeed? What does their business look like? It's definitely not going to be selling copies of video games anymore. That's not going to compensate for the business they lost. Like, people buy digital copies now, and this has been obvious and self-evident for 10 plus years. People are starting to buy digital copies. They don't buy physical anymore. So GameStop's going to lose a large majority of their business in that regard, right? And so what do they pivot to? They have to pivot. If they stay the same, they are going to fail. It's not an arguable thing. So if they have to pivot, what are they going to pivot to? So if you think GameStop is a buy, what does their business look like in 10 years? What do they pivot to that saves the company? And personally, I would pivot to like collectibles, like Pokemon cards, comic books. Like, I think there's a lot of they mesh well with each other. I think they mesh well with their current base, as well as like retro video games, like rare collectibles, like retro video games, like old N64s and stuff like that, mixed with like Pokemon cards, collectibles, maybe even sports memorabilia. Like, switching to that, I think, is a good move. They have to pivot to something. I don't think they can stay the same right now. Yeah, oil's down. Again, Nvidia's up though. Nasdaq's still pushing. GameStop is a buyout target. Yeah, maybe. I mean, again, but who buys them out and what for? Is the question. Who buys them out and what for? So we're down to 501.50s here, down to 501.50s. Again, Tesla's still moving up. Exxon's still trying. Do me a favor, hit that like button. We're almost at 200 likes. Looking at our votes. Did we get a fan funding on this video? Oh. Yeah, I mean, thanks so much, man. I appreciate it. But all right, Nvidia pull it back to the VWAP there. Nasdaq still surging up. We got about 600 here. Again, help us break 200 likes if we can. Yeah, it just depends on what the argument for the future is regarding AMC, GameStop, and other stuff like it. Like, there has to be an argument for the future. If there's not, I'm skeptical, and there's not that I see. I don't see any real reasonable argument. They say, oh, well, GameStop's got its online marketplace for NFTs, and NFTs are slowing down too. So I think GameStop has to do something. They can't stay the same. If you stay the same, you fail for GameStop. That's the mindset they need to have. If you stay the same, they fail. And at this point in time, who knows what they want to do? Like, but if they stay the same, they're going to fail. They're siphoning money away. Like, if you look at their revenue graph for GameStop, the revenue actually might be going up, but their EPS is going down, so their profitability. Okay, so no, their revenue is dropping too, which is a very bad sign. This is GameStop's revenue since 2020, or since 2018. GameStop's revenue has done this. So revenue is like the ceiling behind it. EPS is the profitability. Yeah. I mean, GameStop hasn't really made money since 2018. They've been losing money. All right, so Nvidia now under the VWAP. All right, guys, let me know in chat. Does jobless claims numbers come in higher or lower than the expected number? Higher or lower, guys, for jobless claims? Do they come in higher or lower? Again, I think higher is gonna push a better reaction. Lower is gonna push a worse reaction. Let me know. Do they come in higher or lower for jobless claims unemployment filings? All right, team. Hey, we got 8 minutes. Higher. What about too high? I don't think there is a too high right now. I think inflation is such a fear that I don't think there is such a thing as too high. I think if they come in really high, it's going to be better. Hey, thank you, Anthony. Appreciate the donation, brother. Yeah, it's the day before Thanksgiving, so market's a little flat. Or market's not flat at all. I'm sorry. That's actually not true. Market's actually trending really well. The NASDAQ specifically, mostly from Nvidia. Again, we're in between these big milestone levels. The market might just kind of be patiently waiting for something to show up. Again, we need 3 more likes to break 200. I'm just going to assume y'all are going to do that without even me asking you to do it. Greg Brockman going back to OpenAI. Grayscale had a meeting with the SEC yesterday in division, the division in charge of approving or denying 19B4s. So a lot of people are speculating that maybe they're still pushing for this. Jim Cramer said, quote, December 14th, 2022. Again, quote, Jim Cramer. Do you feel as reassured by Binance as I do? End quote, Jim Cramer. Less than a year ago. It's his fault. I'm telling you. Again, the queue's still pushing. We got 6 minutes, guys. 6 minutes. We got about 700 people here, guys. Slap that like button. I stopped guessing. I just don't think the numbers represent properly, and I'm always wrong. Well, typically, guessing ahead of time is a bad move, Tiny. Nobody knows. Nobody freaking knows what's going to happen, is what I was going to say. And so trying to predict what these numbers are going to be is the wrong move, in my opinion. What's the better move is reacting to the move and trying to identify a trend, although the volatility is high when this stuff's going on. The volatility is certainly high when this stuff's happening. And so, you got to just be careful. Understand that, like, these economic reports are very difficult to predict as well as react to, in all honesty. Trader 8 having issues with oil symbol. Jim Cramer. Well, yeah, it's the day before Thanksgiving. Most people are traveling to go to families and stuff. Is all it is. All right, guys, we're also going to throw this in sub-only mode. So if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. Announce yourself. Show us that you're subbed. We got 5 minutes here, guys. 5 minutes. We got about 700 here. Again, slap that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Oil collapsing. Yeah, CCL down. The reason oil is down is because a ceasefire was announced. And so, like, oil goes up when there's instability overseas. When there's more stability overseas, oil goes down and corrects back down, is what this is. That's like the nuance of oil right now. And that's how it's kind of always been, where more problems in the Middle East, with us at least, more expensive oil, less problems, less expensive oil drops, so forth and so on, right? Like, that. All right, guys, we got over 700 people here. We got 4 minutes. Be ready. All right, guys, we're at 4:01 for Nvidia ahead of this report. 4 minutes here, team. 4 minutes. Again, let me know right now what you think Nvidia is going to do from this report, what you think the market is going to do in this report. List it now in chat. Let me know what you think, guys. Let me know what you think. Again, we got 3.5 minutes. This timer's a little bit off, so we're going to turn this down. Again, we got 3.5 minutes. Tesla up. Tesla's up today. It's at 243s. We're in Tesla right now. Holding nicely. Tesla bounced off the 200 EMA on a weekly chart. All right, Nvidia back up over 501s, testing the volume weighted average price. NASDAQ just cracked over highs ahead of this report. So NASDAQ is over highs. We got about 3 minutes. 3 minutes left, team. All right, 3 minutes. Nvidia will probably tank in a little and bounce back next week. Maybe. I mean, Nvidia's already up 25% in 10 days. So Here's a 10-day chart. Maybe not 25%. Sorry, in 20 days, it's up. Since November started, it's up over 25%. It was at 392s on October 31st. It's now at 500 plus. All right, guys, 2.5 minutes. This data is not going to, Tommy. It's just not it's not influential. Jobless claims drops weekly. Unemployment drops next. Or no, GDP and PCE drop next week. That might be big and influential. Jobless claims is just not as big as like conventional unemployment or like CPI or Jerome Powell or anything like that. It's just not that big. All right, guys, 2 minutes. 2 minutes. We got 800 people here. Again, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We appreciate the love. Thanks so much. Channel has grown a lot too over the last couple weeks. We're pushing towards 120K. We've grown by like 3,000 subs over the last month. So thanks so much, team. All right, guys, here we go. A minute and a half. Nvidia will go up. Again, let me know your predictions in chat. Ghost candle. Yeah, Nvidia right at $500, bouncing right off of it. Again, the NASDAQ right around highs leading into this report, although, again, volume's a little light. Liquidity is a little low. We got a minute and 10 seconds. Make sure your live button looks like this, team. Again, you want to make sure your live button looks like this. You want to make sure it's red. The dot is red next to live. If not, you can click that button right there next to play, and it'll bring you straight up to the stream. You can also fast forward it, put it in like 1.25 speed, and it should stay in real time. All right, expectations again are 229. Are we going to come in higher or lower? All right, guys, 30 seconds. Yeah, we've had a lot of growth over the last couple months. Really, the last year has been really fun. A lot of growth. Yeah, hit the notification bell, Tyree. The expectations vary. I'm showing 229 is what's expected. But others have 225. All right, guys, here we go. Here's the report. Here's the report, guys. And all right, we're waiting. Durable goods just came out. Durable goods came out at 0% versus 0.1% expected. 0% for durable goods versus 0.1% expected. So less durable goods than expected. Jobless claims came in way lower than expected at 209,000. 209 versus 225 or 229, depending on which place you look. 209,000. So lower than expected for jobless claims, signaling more people working, lower unemployment, more people working. The market's probably not going to like that much. Again, you can kind of see the Q dipping down to 390 here. The market does not like that. Nvidia is still at 501. Not really the biggest reaction here for jobless claims. But again, jobless claims came in at 209. 209,000 versus 226,000 expected. Durable goods came in at 0 versus 0.1% expected. 0 versus 0.1%. We're going to put it up on screen. Again, there's jobless claims numbers right there. 209 versus 226, 225 expected. So again, this means lower unemployment, more people working, more people spending, worse for inflation. That's usually the argument of why the market's dropping. But again, the market actually acting resilient to this, to be honest. Nvidia is still holding. So not a lot of liquidity today. Maybe that's why. Hey, we got over 1,000 people here. And so we appreciate the love. Y'all hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. But yeah, again, more people working, more people spending. We might get a delayed downside move here in markets. We'll see. And again, we've been day trading today. If you haven't already, check out the place we're day trading on. It's called Top Step. It's a funded account program in futures. They give you a demo and they test your skill. If you can hit the target on the demo without hitting the max loss, they fund you between 50K up to 150K with a 90% split. The base one's only $49. And if you're good enough to pass it, you can get 50K in funding with a 90% split. So we're starting to get a little dip here. I'm going to short. I think we're a little extended. We're going to take a longer short. This is a combine account. So this is one where we're trying to get funded. We're also funded in a couple different ones outside of this. But again, they give you a demo and they test your skill. And if you can hit the target on the demo without hitting the max loss, they fund you between 50,000 up to 150K with a 90% split. We're going to go ahead and take half off. We're writing this down beautifully. 85, We're going to go ahead and take that off. So we just made like 120 bucks just now scalping this economic report. And if you want to day trade, again, I'm day trading the NASDAQ, basically the Q. It's the same price action here. So you can see this is the same as this, but I can day trade this left right here with no PDT rule. Great way to learn how to trade with less risk. And most day traders lose. And so just taking the challenge builds your skill. If you're good enough to pass it, you get $50K in funding on the base one with a 90% split. There's free funding coaches. They pay out millions every year in actual withdrawals. They fund thousands a year. It's just a great way to limit your risk when you're learning day trading. And the patterns in the NASDAQ or the S&P are very similar to large blue chip patterns. There's just no PDT rule. So you can day trade them, buy market, sell market, all that good stuff. They are a sponsor of mine. I'm certainly biased in their favor because they pay me money. I'm always very transparent and honest about that. Genuinely useful though, because most day traders lose. And so you can either put the money up yourself, take really large risks, or you can risk 50 bucks if you're good enough to pass it, get funding, all that good stuff. Check it out. Here's the link. So yeah, I shorted a little bit. We made some money. Now we're bouncing back. So it looks like me getting out of that short quickly was the right move. We're all the way back up to 390 here. I'm trading futures contracts, okay? So neither. I'm not trading shares. I'm not trading options contracts. I'm trading futures contracts. Again, futures were created years and years ago, a long time ago, because farmers would grow crops. And when it came time to yield those crops, the prices of the crops had fluctuated and it wasn't profitable for them a lot of the time because the prices had fluctuated so much. And so what they started doing is selling contracts, locking in the price of their crops. They started selling them to speculative investors and they called them futures contracts. So regardless of what prices had changed to, both good and bad, they knew what they were going to make when they were growing their crops, right? But over time, over decades and decades of this, the futures market has grown to allow you to trade the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, currencies, gold, like all these different commodities, the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. And again, you can day trade short and there's no PDT restrictions in futures. And so that's what this is. The only big difference between shares and futures is that the sizing, right? So one contract, each symbol has a different movement per tick, right? So the NASDAQ moves $10 per tick, I think. It's either 10 or 5. It might be 5. Okay, so the NASDAQ moves $5 per tick. I'm sorry. So the tick size is $5. So every tick up or down, it moves $5. It's the equivalent of having like 500 shares, right? Like it's the equivalent of having 500 shares. But aside from that, it's very similar to day trading shares. Like I can buy market, sell market, buy bid, sell the ass, just like stocks. I might buy this up here. Nvidia's starting to run, so I'm going to buy this down there. So look, I buy market. We market it in. See if we hold. The reason I'm buying this is Nvidia is starting to push up. Look at Nvidia run. All right, so there we are up $20, $30. I'm just going to go lock that in. My goal is to build up a cushion in this first. So we just made, I don't know how much. But very similar to day trading stocks. It's not $20 a point for the NASDAQ. It's $5 a point. The NASDAQ just moves very quickly. The E-mini is $12.50 a point, or $12.50 a tick. I mean, the Dow I believe is $5 a tick, but I would check themselves. Each symbol has a different price per tick movement. The E-mini is the S&P 500. The E-mini is the S&P 500. So when you hear the E-mini, there's multiple E-minis. There's the E-mini NASDAQ and there's the E-mini S&P 500. So the E-mini is the index fund futures contracts. So the E-mini NASDAQ is the Q. Basically, it's the QQQ that you can day trade. The E-mini S&P is the SPY, basically, that you can day trade. There you can trade gold, you can trade oil, you can trade some currencies. Well, there's both the E-mini NASDAQ and the E-mini S&P 500, so it varies. pass the combine and help my discipline. Yeah, I mean, just taking the challenge. Again, I'm always transparent. Like, people find a way to criticize, but like, I'm always transparent. Like, most day traders lose money. It doesn't matter whether they go to Top Step or whether they go somewhere else. Most day traders lose. And so you can either put the money up yourself and risk thousands of dollars a lot of the time doing so, or you can take a funded account program like Top Step, risk a very small amount. And if you lose, it's not the end of the world. But if you're good enough to pass it, you're still, 90% split once funded, as long as you can follow their rules. And I just think it's a great way to limit your risk. Trading is about learning how to perform under pressure. Like, learning how to perform under pressure is what trading is about. So, like, it's important for traders to understand that, like, you have to learn how to trade under pressure. This is a great middle ground of that, where it's not the full extent of pressure that you're going to get from putting up 5K and risking that, but it's not necessarily no pressure like just a regular paper account as well. It's somewhere in the middle, and I think that's a valuable thing for traders, and it's a useful thing. But again, I'm biased because they're a sponsor of mine. Yeah, so you're not liable if you lose. It's on them if you lose it once you're funded. All right, so we're scalping a little bit more here. You can see we're up $70 to 2 NASDAQ contracts. We're going to lock in a little bit more. Just take half of that off. See if we can grind up some more. We're up $60 here. $50. 70. We'll go ahead and lock that in. And again, we're mostly trading Nvidia. You can see Nvidia bounce and then the NASDAQ bounces. Although the NASDAQ volume is a little slow. Yeah, I mean, check out the link in the description space if you want. Again, they're a sponsor of mine. I'm certainly biased, of course, like I always tell people, but I think it's just useful. All right, so Nvidia is still under 502s. The question is, does the liquidity pick up? Look at how slow the NASDAQ is today is the problem. Like, the NASDAQ is very low liquidity right now. There's just no volume here, unfortunately. My guess is people are traveling. What's up, Daniel? The ratio is a 2 to 3 ratio, which is pretty reasonable, I think, John. Like, you got to make 3K without losing 2K, So, I mean, I don't really like giving up my sources there, Anthony. A lot of people ask me for them because I can cover them very quickly, but I don't really like giving up my sources. Watching Tesla here. Is oil still falling? It looks like it is. Dixie pump. Yeah, the dollar index is going to move up as the rest of the market falls. That's pretty normal. I see a lot of stuff starting to go down, though, specifically Tesla, Nvidia, the Q in general. No, that's not where I use John, but it's all good. Baba? What's Baba doing? Oh, yeah, so it's $20 a point, $5 a tick is what the NASDAQ is. Sorry, guys. All right, so we're scalping some more in futures here in the NASDAQ here. We're up 90 on the rest. We're going to go ahead and take that off and just lock that in. We are now up 270 or so on the Top Step Combine. Again, the system I have for this is very simple. I build up a cushion. Once we have that cushion, we take larger risks. And so you can kind of see something like this is a different account, by the way, than the one I was trading earlier. But you see something in which I build up a cushion of 40, 50 bucks, take a risk for that, lose that, back down to break even, build up the cushion where I have $100, right? You can see I build up that cushion. And again, what I do is I build up a cushion. And then if I have a cushion, I take larger risks. If I don't have a cushion, I trade one contract, small size. Don't trade big. Don't take a lot of risks. And then you can see I built up this cushion of $100. Once I had that cushion, we took a larger size trade with larger risks, and we ended up hitting on it, and now we're up 270. And now if we want to, we can choose to take even larger risks with larger size in the next trade I get involved with. And that way, if I lose then on the larger risk trade, you know, it might go back down to this, and I'm back down to break even. And that's a good thing, because if I would have just regularly lost this, it would have been a big drawdown if I didn't have a cushion. And so my system involves, for getting funded, if you want to know how to get funded in these accounts in a more simple way, you build up a cushion first. Once you have that cushion, that's when you take larger risks. If you don't have a cushion, trade small. Okay. Most people lose these accounts because they're trying to just YOLO, go big or go home or whatever it is. And they just end up destroying their accounts, having to reset over and over again. In my opinion, it's going to be better to just build up a cushion. When you have that cushion, take larger risks. If you don't have a cushion, take small risks. It's very simple. That's the way you should treat these accounts. And that's what I typically try to do. Nvidia earnings were yesterday, bro. Yeah, you can lose the funded account by trading too large. They're not just going to let you YOLO that account either. That's not a reasonable expectation. Because again, if they did, all people would have to do is get funded and then just take a crazy sized risk trade. And if they lose, they wouldn't care. So like that would never work. If you lose too much, they will take the funded account away is what happens, which is reasonable, I think. Yeah, jobless claims being low lately has been bad. Yeah, you don't YOLO futures for sure. Yeah, bad durable good numbers came in at 0. So yeah, again, bad durable good orders. I don't even know if they were bad. I think they were neutral. They came in lower than expected, which is probably going to be seen as a positive. And then jobless numbers came in lower than expected, which is probably going to be seen as a negative. So you might be right in that they canceled each other out, but Man, the Saints, #1 in the NFC South, the NFL powerhouse of the year, the 5-5 Saints, powerhouse of the year, going to win the Super Bowl, What a powerhouse team this year, guys. What a great division as well, the NFC South. Man, what a bunch of powerhouse teams. The Panthers, 1-9. They're going to get some good draft picks. The Bucks, 4-6. I bet you they're missing Brady. Falcons, where's Matty Ice at when you need him here? And then Saints, powerhouse team, 5-5. The GOAT of the year, Yeah. Jameis Winston, bro. Ugh, man. Everybody always overhyped him, man. I never liked him. He was just not that good. He did great in college, just didn't perform well once he hit the NFL. He was a bust in the NFL, in my opinion. I don't think Derek's doing much better with the Saints either, but it is what it is. Yeah, sorry, dude. I don't let anybody plug anybody else here, dude. Yeah, what you get all these people that come to the stream, and again, I'm not trying to hate on anybody else, right? But like, you get people that come to the stream, and like, sometimes they'll be really, really nice, and then they'll be really nice for like a week, and then they try to plug somebody. Sometimes it's like secretly themselves. They'll be like, "Oh yeah, you should check out this channel over here," and then when I delete it, and I'm like, "Nah," then they just turn into like a bitter hater, and so. Don't be that person, John. Not saying you are that person, but don't be that person. It's all good for trying to plug things. I mean, I'm not going to allow it, but don't turn into a bitter hater now that I didn't allow it, because that's usually what happens. I guess my guess is like people spend time and they're doing it for the sole reason of like, hey, I'm going to be nice to John, and then maybe John will promote my small channel, but I never do, and then they use that as justification to just turn into a hater. So just Jobless claims were low. It depends on your definition of bad. It meant more people working. So jobless claims are unemployment filings for the week. Basically, how many people are filing for unemployment. That number, the amount of people filing for unemployment came in low at 209 versus 225 expected. So much lower than expected, meaning more people working. Now, that's not, recent history shows that that's not necessarily a good thing. Yeah, so again, recently, higher jobless claims numbers has been better, lower claims numbers has been worse, but it varies. Again, jobless claims, like conventionally, it's good to have more people working. Of course, lower unemployment is good, but we're not necessarily in a conventional market right now with inflation fears and expectations and all that stuff. So yeah, I mean, that's the thing to understand about it. Today's jobless claims numbers did come in low, meaning more people working. But the problem typically with that is more people working means more people spending. More people spending means businesses raise prices and makes inflation worse. Durable good orders, which are another gauge of the economy. Core durable good orders is the big one, right? Core durable good orders, which measures the total value of new orders, the change in the total value of new orders for long-lasting manufacturing goods, excluding transportation. And so kind of another gauge on manufacturing came in low, and less manufacturing can be seen as a positive as well, because it means that prices may, fall. But that came in at 0, which versus 0.1% expected, so less than expected in manufacturing, like more manufacturing weakness, which may be seen as a positive as well, because it was kind of split. Durable goods came in, jobless claims came in. Jobless claims showed economic growth. Durable goods orders showed economic contraction. And so they kind of canceled each other out, a lot of people are saying, and that might be what happened. That might be why we kind of had a neutral reaction. My guess here, though, is that it's the day before Thanksgiving. I know we're not traveling this year, but I know a lot of people who are, and I know a lot of people travel today. They're going to families, they're going to do stuff, they're traveling out of town, out of state sometimes. And so with that, my guess is the liquidity in the market is low because of that. It's the day before Thanksgiving. It's the day before a holiday. The market's closed tomorrow. So it's kind of like a Friday today almost. So yeah, just be careful. $50,000 flights today in the U.S. I like you better, John, than most promoting, because a lot of them become arrogant. Yeah, I mean, again, the reason I designed my channel like it is because I don't want to be a day trading guru. Like, really, we cover economics mostly, so like we cover day trading too, and we certainly day trade and all this different stuff, but I'm certainly not claiming to be the greatest day trader ever. We mostly cover economics, and we have for years, you know what I mean? And so my big thing is, like, I just want to be honest with people. I want to be honest with them if I have a sponsor and I'm biased in that sponsor's favor. Signups are still good, to be honest, for me. Like, I still get some good signups. Like, so I would rather be real with people about it and say, hey, I'm biased, but I still only accept sponsors that I think are genuinely valuable. You know what I mean? Like, Chart Prime is a great example of this, in which prior to Chart Prime, I didn't really want to accept sponsors from algo companies, because I didn't trust them. When I started checking out Chart Prime and their software, like, they can be pretty powerful. Like, here's Chart Prime, and I'm going to use this to delve into another shameless plug. Forgive me, guys. But this is Chart Prime. This is the Market Oracle Pro, right? And this is on a 1-hour chart. And so the 1-hour chart, so this is a long-term chart. This is more of like swing trading or better. Look at this thing. This thing can be powerful. Look, strong buy signal, bounce. Sell signal, drop. Strong buy signal, bounce. Sell signal, drop. Last one came in about 5 hours ago. Nice little bullish action since then. I can't fake this either. I mean, again, I can't guarantee you're going to make money. I can't guarantee you're going to profit. I can't guarantee it's always going to work. But I think this is powerful, and there's so much stuff that they offer. I've also been playing with their back tester lately, where the back tester, you want something over 50%. Now, again, you're going to think some of the good ones will be like 51, 52%, but you also have to understand that the profit taking varies, right? So they're using until the next symbol shows up to get out, where my system is going to be much more accurate than this. But if you can find one that's over 50% for the back tester, it can be powerful. Let me see if I can get it to work. Let's check it. So here's the back tester, and you only get access to the back tester if you buy the lifetime subscription, which I think is like $9.99 right now for Black Friday sale. Let's see if I can get it to work. And again, you can use these on any time frame in stocks, crypto, forex, futures, and look at it. Sell signal drop, buy signal bounce, sell signal. This one might not have worked. Strong signal worked, sell signal worked, strong signal worked, sell signal worked, buy signal worked. And so again, even if 2 out of 7 fail, that's still pretty good accuracy. Okay, so yeah, so look, the hourly, and you can change this here, right? Like I like changing it to where the buy signal is both buy and sell, and the sell signal is dynamic. And so watch, we can let this load and see what that shows up. You can see it loading right here. The back tester I've been using a ton. It's telling me basically what's working at any given moment and what's not. Over 50% typically signals that it's working. And again, if my exits are better, then that's going to go up dramatically, right? But they're using the exit signals as like the next indicator. Yeah, so look at this. So on that hourly chart right now, both signals are working pretty well. This is the highest one. So at 51.5%. So if you can find one over 51%, and again, you can tweak your exit to make it much higher than that, it works. But I've been using this back tester a ton. Again, there's so much stuff that they offer: chart patterns, oscillators. I can put a screener up to see basically like how well different patterns are working and not working. There's just a lot of cool stuff. They give you flag patterns, like all these different things here that you can see, like flag patterns. When the break of those patterns, look how well that worked too. The break of the flag, beautiful breakdown that you can see kind of mid-trade. There's just a lot of stuff. And for 50 bucks, I think it's like 50 or 60 bucks if you use my link. Great way to help support the channel. Again, they are a sponsor of mine. I'm certainly biased in their favor because they pay me money. But again, I think they're genuinely useful. If you want to check it out, here's the link. Super predictable pawn. All right, so again, Nvidia mostly flat. Q pulling back a little bit. Can you indulge in things you look for prior to making a trade? Extension. I usually buy pullbacks. Those are my favorite go-to method. And then on shorts, I usually buy bounce backs. So like the typical trade that you'll see me get involved with looks like this. Identified trend, right? I'm not going to buy it. If it's like this, I'm typically never going to buy it. Sometimes I will, but it's very rare. So instead, I want to see something like this, pull back to a major support level. That's when I choose to buy it. Look for a small bounce back. That's typically what I like to do. If it's too busy, if it's too much like this, I usually avoid it. So if it's choppy like this, I typically avoid that completely. And so, yeah, those are the basics that I look for. Aside from that, it's very nuanced. Like I'm looking at 200 EMA. I'm looking at the VWAP here, previous close, milestone levels like $500 on Nvidia. I'm looking at what other blue chip stocks are doing relative to the broad market index funds like the Q and the SPY. So, yeah, it's just I'm looking at the long-term trend. Like, again, with the NASDAQ here, you know, short term, we have this very obvious trend that I think a lot of people see. You know, it's a very obvious trend right now on the NASDAQ, on the Q. And so I look at trends for sure. I do sometimes Earl for sure. I do a lot of the time. Again, I have 4 monitors, so I'm looking at a lot of different stuff. Yeah, I don't trust Fisker. I just don't know enough about him. Yeah, Daniel. I mean, I use those signals as kind of like confirmations as well a lot of the time. So I also use like again, I use them in a lot of different phases. Like I use them in the cushion building phase a ton. One thing that I'll do is I'll use these longer term signals. with smaller size. So I'll take a bunch of micro contracts, trade very small, and then let those signals run and just try to build up a cushion using small size using them. And then once I do that, I can get a little bit more experimental with my trading and take larger size because of the cushion I have on the day from building it. So there's a lot of ways I use them. Again, they're just custom indicators. So they're not like ignore the buy and sell aspect of it and just think of them as like strength and weakness, you know. The auto drawing flags, auto drawing trends. I think that's all very valuable. Candlestick patterns can be really nice, really, really useful. I use some of them on the 1 minute, some of them on the 5 minute. It just depends. It depends on what's working at any given time. So like usually I'll look at it, I'll see what's working on a 1 minute, I'll see if something's working on a 1 minute or not, because nothing's going to work universally, right? So I think you have to do your due diligence with what's working. And I think that's where the screener makes a lot of sense, because the screener is essentially showing you what's working, what current trend we have. The back tester will show you where the edge is as well. Yeah, I mean, TradingView, you have to get TradingView Premium to get, like TradingView Premium is usually like $40 a month or something like that. What do I currently have? Yeah, I'm looking at the TradingView bundle too. Count. Yeah, sorry, I'm looking up these. Yeah, I already basically got all the ones I want. All right, guys, sorry. We're getting ready to trade. We got 25 minutes or so until the market opens. Dipping down a little bit right now. Yeah, for sure, Sid. That's what I'm actually doing right now. It's exactly the same one, the 217 one. That's actually the one I'm currently using. It's going to save me like $400 a year. And so, I mean, it's a good deal. Still in that upward trend here. All right, guys, we're going to get ready. We got a little pullback here as well. Look at Nvidia right at the 501 level. If we think it's going to bounce, we could buy it. I think I'm just going to wait until the open to trade some more, though. We got a cushion on the day. We're going to keep attacking that cushion. Tesla under the 200 EMA, though, that's kind of a risk, I think. Tesla is such a big influential stock as well. I'm probably going to be trading the NASDAQ. You know, make sure we got the right ones. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so we're going to be trading the NASDAQ today. Okay, checking one more thing. We got a little dip here. Is it time to buy the NASDAQ? I don't know. All right, so there's a pullback and a dip. All right. Yeah, so we just bought it. So we won't have to pay for TradingView for a year straight now. That's good. It's not trash day. Or it is trash day, but we already took it out. I'll be trading the futures market, the NASDAQ. Stairs up, elevator down. Yeah, maybe. Are you bullish on the NASDAQ? Short term, I don't know. I don't know. I really don't. I don't know what we want to do there. Bullish or bearish, I'm not sure, in all honesty. All right, guys. So again, we got the jobs report out. What else we got? All right. All right, so we got this little pullback. We're gonna buy this dip here. Watching Nvidia, see if we get a bounce at $500, which is a pretty major milestone level. We have a cushion on the day already. And again, this is day trading the NASDAQ, the NQ. You can see my performance today. We're already up 260, 270. So we've got a nice little cushion. We'll add to this as well. Look for a bounce at 500 on Nvidia. Add to it there. Down small at the moment. See if we get a little retracement back up, a pop. Now we're flat. Definitely top 3 typers in the world right now for sure. Definitely top 3. I've done a typing test here too. Should I do another one? Somebody told me I was fake typing one time. I'm still insulted by that. You know? Watch. How dare you? You know? Let me get out this trade first. All right, we're up 15. Watching the video to see if it bounces at 500. GM and Ford are mainly out. Price war was brutal. All right, so we got a little dip down. 2 contracts here. I'm not going to add more to this, though. We will cut it, though. Yeah, we're just going to cut it. That looks too big of a pullback. We're still up 150 bucks or so. We'll see what we get on the next one. All right, let's do our typing test. Our fingerprints are very unique to each individual. It turns out zebra and tiger stripes are also just as unique to All right, 79 words per minute. So 76 words per minute. Not my best. You can see my best was 93 words per minute. So we're good enough. You know, maybe not top 3, maybe top 5 typers in the world. All right, look, we might take another dip buy. We got a down wick. We're extended on the downside here. Nvidia's under 500 though, so this might actually be a bad trade. We got a quick little pop up, $30. Now we might add to it since we're in the green. We don't need to. 45. All right, so we're going to take 2 contracts here. 60, 50, 40. All right, Nvidia all the way back over 500. This should be good for my trade. We're going to give it time to play out. Problem is Tesla dipped here is what happened. Tesla dipped. 60. We're going to take half off. 25. 35. Go ahead and lock that in. All right, so we just basically made our money back. We're back up 240 on the day or so. Jobless claims are already out. They might be right below me. Keyboard takes abuse. It's got a black eye like me. Yeah, freaking jiu-jitsu, bro. This black eye. This is the second black eye I've gotten in a month from jiu-jitsu. Maybe I need more iron. Yeah, Tesla's dipping. All right, so we did get a pop back up. I probably could have held it a little bit more. Slow down a bit, leverage and technique. Yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, I'm a spazzy white belt, you know, so like, and I can understand that. I'm not pretending I'm not. I mean, I think I've gotten better for sure. And what felt really good, again, a purple belt that I roll with pretty regularly, came up to me, you know, like a week ago after I had rolled with him, and it was like, hey, bro, you got much better. He was like, he was basically like, I used to be able to do whatever I wanted, and like now you're a threat in some ways, you know. And so he was like, I just want to tell you, like, whatever you're doing, it's working. He's like, keep doing it. And so that felt good. What had happened is that I was rolling with this other guy that's like a normal rolling partner with me, like a normal sparring partner with me. And like he, for whatever reason, got tired rolling with me. Like I ended up tapping him, and then he got tired afterwards. And so he couldn't finish the rolling session. And so they joked around. We had like 2 minutes left. And they joked around and they were like, hey, we're going to let this purple belt jump in. And I knew him. I had rolled with him a bunch. And they were like, see if you can survive. Like basically see if you can last this 2 minutes without getting tapped by the purple belt. And so I was like, all right. But instead of getting tapped, I ended up having like an advantageous position over him. Like I was on bottom at start. Like he ended up taking me down, and like I was on the bottom. And then I like got into X guard and then got him into an ankle lock, and then used the ankle lock to reverse eventually and get in top side control and cross face, and then use that to get close to mount, and then time ran out. And that's when he came up to me and was like, hey, bro, you've gotten much better, which felt good. You know, it's felt good. I know I'm just a spazzy white belt, but I think you got to take your wins when you can get them, you know, not a win, but like you got to pat yourself on the back when you can in this to keep doing it. Cause it's a brutal sport. It's hard to do and it's tiring. And you get, like I said, you see my black eye, like you get beat up sometimes, not like actually beat up, but it's a rough sport on your body for sure. But it's fun. Tesla's starting to move back up though. Tesla up to 243s. Then he gave you that black eye. Yeah, it's like, don't ankle lock me. You know? Nah, man. Black eye I got Saturday, rolling with a black belt, who wasn't trying to do it, I don't think. I think when, like, cross face is what gave me I think I should have turned my face faster and cross face instead. Yeah, jobless claims came in much lower than expected. Traders try to understand how the human mind works. Yeah. Is it necessary? Yes. Because most of trading, again, we had a guy here with Nvidia yesterday, right? And the guy was super bearish, telling everybody like Nvidia was going to crash the market, telling everybody if you didn't think Nvidia was going to crash the market today or yesterday or whatever, that you didn't know what you were talking about and that you didn't understand stocks. And my response to him was like, sure, but you have to understand that the stock market in general and markets in general are not based off of pure company health, more so the perception of company health and mass psychology, right? You hear it in the movie Limitless, and it's absolutely true, right? The market is mostly based off of perceptions, not necessarily company health directly, but the perception of company health, right? And that perception, those type of mass perceptions can and will be wrong in markets. And it doesn't necessarily mean the stock's eventually going to come down either. You've seen a lot of stocks that have pumped up big on perception of health and health, you know, a lot of the time in health. Hey, don't start messing with those cords right there. Okay. Here. There you go. Well said, man. Hey, thanks, David. Hope you're doing good, bro. Yeah, I'm just a spazzy white belt. I'm not good at all. Anybody blue belt or better is gonna destroy me. So I don't want it to come across as arrogance, because it's not. I'm just proud of myself, and you know, it's fun to learn. Like, when you progress, it's fun. I always tell my daughter, like, my daughter hated jujitsu until she actually started winning. Right? When she started winning, I told her, and I would always tell her, I say, look, you're gonna get beat up a lot. When you finally start to like tap people and actually start to win some, then it's really addicting and it's really fun. And that's when you're really gonna start enjoying it, because you're gonna have some sense of victory. You know what I mean? And that's what it takes to keep doing it. Because if you don't, you still get beat up most of the time. But like, having that motivates you to keep doing it. Anyways, NASDAQ sideways. I'm kind of rambling. The market's sideways. So, I mean, it's not like we got much going on anyway. Tesla up a lot today, but still sideways over the last few hours. I told them to load up on puts and let us know how it works. Yeah. You think stocks will continue the uptrend without a breather? Not necessarily. I think we're probably due for a correction or a pullback. My overarching Sorry, I'm over here talking, guys. Sorry. I'm over here talking to myself. These stocks. Oh, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that the market doesn't have to do anything. The biggest mistake I see people make is that they think the market has to do one thing or has to do another. And that's not true at all. The market doesn't have to do anything. Anything could happen. The problem is, like, people think the market's right or wrong, or like their prediction is right or other predictions are wrong. The market doesn't have to do anything. And if you've been following me for years, you understand this. The market doesn't have to do anything. Anything could happen. It's all about like perceptions, and that's the reality of it. It's about perceptions. Nobody knows what's going to happen either. They can make predictions, and sometimes you can have favorable probabilities and sometimes you don't, but it doesn't have to do anything. That's the biggest mistake a lot of people make. Bro, the BG music had me. Britney Spears saying, "No, baby, baby." BG from New Orleans, BG, or Britney Spears? Baby, hit me one more time type of stuff. I'm from Louisiana, so when I hear BG, I think Baby Gangster, Choppa City. What happened to BG, man? I heard it. I don't know what happened to him. Sorry, it's like a teenage album that we used to listen to. BG just got out of the Fed. Dropping new music. That's good, man. I know him and Wayne made up, and now they're cool again. A long time ago. This was like 10 years ago. I think Wayne and Birdman made up too. Sorry, if it's a Louisiana thing though. If you hear me talking about all this obscure rap, it's a Louisiana thing for sure. If you grew up in Louisiana, you might know what I'm talking about. But the UK is snowing right now. Right, exactly, Tiny. Hey, it's good that you remember all that stuff because that's still true. It rings true to this day. Tiny said, you and Mitch helped me understand there are 3 ways the market goes: up, down, or sideways. 100%. Noia clap. I still listen to Juvenile a lot. All right, so Tesla, guys, might drag the market down. Tesla falling all the way down to 241.70s. We got an inch of snow here in Canada already. Man, those sessions were so much fun. Yeah, for sure, they were fun. Good old days. How do you feel about UK rap? I mean, listen, I'm going to say this with as much respect as I can. I'm not a big fan. You know, I know like it can get serious over there, but like I'm just not a big fan. Again, I'm from the South. I'm from Louisiana, you know. I'm just not a big fan. I think to me it sounds silly. The accent sounds silly, which I'm sure y'all probably to a certain extent think like Louisiana accent sounds silly as well, and that's okay. I just, you know, yeah, I'm just not really, it's not really my thing, you know. I mean, I listen to all types of music, don't get me wrong. I grew up in the 90s, and so naturally I listen to 90s music and everything, but yeah, just not a big fan of. Can I ask your opinion on Binance? You think it'll completely shut down? Should I get my money out? No, I think it's probably in a good state right now. I think that Binance is paying the government $4.2 billion, and CZ is stepping down so that they can stay within regulation. And so I think CZ stepping down was what was needed to be done in order to keep the company solvent and valid in the SEC's mind. You know what I mean? And I also think that they're going to work more closely with the government now to remain. Here's the opening bell, guys. But again, I don't know for sure. Anything could happen. Q push it up. We're at 391s. Nvidia breaking down. We're at 495s, 496s. New Orleans has the best food. Yeah, it does. Yeah, I'm not against English accents. My last name's London, like literally London. Okay, I'm not against English accents at all. Obviously, my ancestral roots come from England. Okay, I'm just not a big fan of English rap. You know, it's just not my style. You know. Anyways, the Q's ripping up right now. I'm not sure why. Tesla's up a little bit, but it's not like flying up like the chart would indicate. This is Apple. Apple's flying up right now, guys. Look at Apple. So the NASDAQ ripping up. Apple shooting up to 192.20s. What's the lifetime high for Apple? 198s. 198.20s is the lifetime high for Apple. We're up to 192.50s basically right now for Apple. Apple dragging the market up. Yeah, Apple's rising pretty quick. Tesla dipping down a little bit, man. Look at this move. Nvidia's getting dragged up on the rest of the tech sentiment. Key Apple supplier Foxconn faces heightened regulatory oversight. Yeah, I don't know why Apple's up. Tesla dipping down, though, contracting a little bit. Apple, the most heavily weighted stock in the market, though, is dragging everything else up. Nvidia's testing that previous closing price. Apple just broke highs again. NASDAQ with a big upward move so far here, team. Yeah, no, all good, Tiny. I don't really know it either. That's what I'm saying. I'm just not a huge fan of it. I don't really listen to it that much. I'm just never, you know, it's harder to relate to it. You know what I mean? And it's harder to be honest, it's hard for me to understand a lot of it. Like Conor McGregor put out a rap freestyle the other day. I had no idea. It was hilarious because it was ridiculous, but I had no idea what he said. No idea what he said. So some of those heavy accents, I just can't understand them. Anyways, Nvidia dipping down completely flat since the opening bell. And this might be kind of some forewarning into what we might get for the rest of the day today. It's a low liquidity day. A lot of people are going to be traveling out of state today, moving a lot. And so in that regard, it might just be slow today. Apple testing highs again. Nvidia at 497s, 498s, basically completely flat. Very, very sideways day so far. Apple's ripping up Eli is what's happening. All right, we've gotten 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 green candles at the opening bell. Nvidia completely flat. Apple dragging up almost up to 193s here. So Apple pumping the market right now. Up a little bit too much for me to really want to buy this here, though. Extension plays a factor, I think, after a certain point. And we might keep ripping up, but it's a little too extended for my taste in terms of day trading here. I'm not really trying to buy it after 4 or 5 green candles in a row. Nvidia still pushing back up, almost back up to 500 though. Just tapped $500, trying to break over it now as we speak for Nvidia. Right at 500 bucks, rejecting a little bit back down. Apple finally showing some red candles, a red candlestick here, but retracing it all the way back up. Nvidia back over 500 now, so we're starting to move up even faster as we speak here. Tesla flat still. Gold still pretty neutral. Apple just broke highs again. 192.80s is the high of the day. Nvidia over 501s now as well, starting to head up a little bit more. All right, guys, Nvidia up to 502s now, over 502s. Huge movements. Again, we haven't had any really opportunity here. Too green. Apple testing 193s. Nvidia over 502s. Gold pushing up. SPY pushing up over 455s. Big green action today. Amazon up a lot too. Amazon up to 147. So Apple, Amazon rising here. Nvidia up to almost 503s right now. Apple broke highs again. 192.93s, right under 193. I'm going to short this right here. Very risky bet. I have a big cushion on the day that I can do this with. And it looks like it was the wrong move. 2 contracts here. Boom. Breakdown. Took half off there, locked it in. Up another 90, 100 on the day. We can probably get out the rest flat here if it starts to retrace on us. I do see Nvidia start to pump down though. I don't want a 1 minute pullback candle to catch me either, though, so I got to be kind of weary here. There's Nvidia start to turn. Apple starts to turn a little bit. Nice little breakdown. 2 contracts here. Taking a swing at the opening bell. Trying to catch. Took half off there. We're up over 3 on the day now. See if we can ride the rest down. See if we can flush down some more. Apple's still churning. There we go. All right. So that just brought us up to 4 on the day, 400 on the day. Really nice cushion there. Caught the top. All right, so we got a little pullback. We could have held that, I guess. This is more likely the area where we're going to buy it up. We'll try buying it, but it's risky. Let's take one more add to it, see if we get a pop back up real quick. Punished. We took larger risks. We got 2 contracts here. We're flat on the day right now, though, which is nice, but I don't want to hold this forever. And if it cracks lows again, we got to cut it. This looks bad. Very close to cutting it. I've just been kind of sitting in the spot for a minute now. Nvidia breaking down. I don't like that. I got to get out of this pretty quick. So we're basically back to break even on the day, unfortunately. But we let it work a little bit. We took half of it off. Maybe we could have held it. Yep. You know, we build up these cushions and then we take larger risks once we have them. All right, so we just got out. I mean, we're up 200 on the day still now after that little rebound back up. But, man, could have been worse. The S&P has pulled out back even less, man. But look at Apple rip. Apple actually looks kind of strong right now. How's the Dow move? Does the Dow move faster than the S&P, than the E-mini? Yes, it does. Big rejection here. Tesla still wants to rise, it looks like. See, this looks like a dip in the NASDAQ. The problem is like the S&P is like right at the highs of the day. I'll try it. Chopping back and forth, break even here. The problem is Nvidia dipping down. This is a bad look for Nvidia. All right, we just made another 70 back. We're now up about 3 on the day. So we're only down about 100 from the highs that of profit on the day now. A little bit more maybe. All right, we're scalping the regular E-mini. Got out a little bit more. Yeah, we're over 300 on the day now. Watching Apple and Nvidia. The problem is Apple's leading, but Nvidia's dipping now. Disney over 95. Yeah, I cut Disney a couple days ago in the mid 90s. It was a really nice trade though. We had it at like $80. Little pop up now. See, the Dow is just up too much. Nvidia is the one that's finally starting to give it trouble. Apple's up a lot, but Nvidia's down a lot. I mean, again, I told you guys yesterday, Nvidia was up freaking 25% over the last 20 days. So if it pulls back some, it's not a crazy thought. The only thing is like it could tank the market down too. Yeah, Nvidia could tank the market. That's the thing to watch. So again, watch Nvidia here, team. Nvidia's starting to get really weak though. This is a very steep sign. I'm not saying it's going to yet. It's still too early. But regardless of what Apple's doing, Nvidia's looking very weak. Liquidity has picked up a lot to where volume's high on the Nvidia as it breaks down. 490 looks like a support level, but I'd be careful. And AMD is way up. AMD is up a lot. Wow. What happened to AMD today? Is it just Apple? Yeah, I'm going to start slowing down my buys and day trading because I think if Nvidia starts to tank, it's going to take the market with it. Oil. Oil's trending around the bottom range of the day. So, I mean, it's not really doing much. Last few minutes at least. All right, watch this 488 level. It's not quite the low of pre-market, but watch it. Again, so this is why I didn't long anything. Last few trades. Microsoft's killed it. Honeywell's doing pretty nice too. Looks like an Apple flag pattern here. So again, if you haven't already, check out TopStep. TopStep funded account program and futures. They give you a demo. They test your skill. If you can hit the target on the demo without hitting the max loss, they fund you $50K with a 90% split up to $150K with a 90% split. There's free funding coaches that teach you how to get funded easier. Just a great way to learn how to trade. And if you're good enough and maybe you don't have as much equity to put up yourself, you can try this. And if you pass it, you get a 90% split. If you don't pass it, you're probably going to lose less than you would putting up the money up yourself. Not always. There's always outliers, but it's a lot less risky than putting up thousands yourself. I think that's objectively true. But again, they are a sponsor of mine. I'm definitely biased in their favor. In the futures market, you see me trading essentially the Q. This is the NASDAQ. It's basically the Q price action. No PDT rule. I can buy market, buy bid, sell the ask, just like stocks. But again, there's no PDT rule. I can't trade individual stocks. But what I can do is I can trade index funds like the Q, like the S&P, like the NASDAQ. If you want to check it out, here's the link. Again, they are a sponsor of mine. I'm definitely biased. NASDAQ trying to hold at that 488 level we talked about. Again, look at the NASDAQ start to turn though. Again, this is remember I told you I wasn't buying way back here, and there's a reason for that. I should have shorted, but I'm in stocks right now, but I've been holding. They're mostly investments. I haven't really bought any stocks today. Big dip. Look at Nvidia still break down a little bit. It's still not the end of the world breakdown, but let's see if it snowballs into something worse here. I don't know when the best time to buy oil is. Oh yeah, there is the University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment today, right? I forgot about that. We'll see what happens. That's 9 minutes away. We'll see if this impacts the market at all. Look at the NASDAQ give all the gains back it made this morning. Not all of them, maybe half of the gains it made back this morning. So Dow's pulling back a little bit as well. Apple turning back too. It's a Friday for sure. Big upward moves, big downward moves. Apple is completely retraced. NASDAQ completely back to where it was. Like I told you guys, Nvidia might snowball and spiral into this. I told you guys like 10 minutes ago this might happen, and this is exactly what happened. And so again, y'all be smart. Trade safe today. It's basically the market equivalent of a Friday. And again, with Nvidia flushing down here, I told you guys it had the potential to just drag everything else down with it, which is kind of what we got. Consumer sentiment is in 9 minutes. But again, what it looks like to me is Nvidia flushing the market down. All right, Nvidia finally starting to pop back up. We'll wait for the consumer sentiment data to drop, and then we'll close it down. Again, we're going to cover consumer sentiment data dropping pretty soon. Yeah, y'all be safe right now in this market team. Nvidia gave back a little bit, but Apple is really what's turning the market down right now. Oil bouncing back a little bit too. NASDAQ completely turned back. Consumer sentiment, can it save this? Here, I guess, is the question. Nvidia bopping back up to 485. All right, so we're bouncing all the way back up to 486s. When the queue was up too quick, you said you want to short it. I did quickly and won. Hey, nice. Congrats. Yeah, usually my big plays are extensions, so like very rarely is this going to hold. I always told people in this big run up that I didn't trust it. as well as like when you see Nvidia start to flush down, that's when you start to get sketched out. So yes, Doe. I'm pretty sure they have a trading view option, but yeah, the base one's a demo account, and then once you get funded, there's a couple different options afterwards. Hey. Yeah. Yes, marksman. All right, we got Carol here.
Morning.
All right. All right, guys. So there is, the University of Michigan consumer sentiment data coming out. Sorry, Carol's in here talking to me. It came out higher than expected for inflation expectations, lower than expected for consumer expectations, higher than expected for consumer sentiment. Consumer sentiment came in at 61.3 versus 60.4. And so I'm showing 61.3 versus 60.6. But yeah, here's the data. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, guys. Y'all be safe. That's the report right here. Y'all be safe. Again, if you want to check out Top Step, link is in the description. Check out Chart Prime. Great way to learn how to find patterns and strategies. I've been using them a ton lately. And again, they can just be really powerful. If you look at like a 15-minute chart, has been another one that I've been like playing with too. Like here's the 15-minute chart. They also have their back tester and just a lot of cool stuff to check out. Like look at the buy and sell signal. Sell, dip, buy, strong buy, or strong works. Buy signal worked, strong worked. This one maybe not. Buy signal worked, strong worked, strong worked. So again, back test these yourself. The 15-minute chart. You can play with different ones. Here's a 30-minute chart. Figure out where they work. You can use their back tester too to figure out like what systems they work. That's what I've noticed is like anything over 51% on the back tester is pretty good. You got to play with it a little bit too, though. But look, buy, sell, strong, sell. This one maybe didn't work, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1 out of 7 not working is pretty reasonable, I think. But again, if you want to check out both of those, links in the description. Hey, I really am thankful for this community here, guys. I really am thankful for this community. So I appreciate the love. Thanks so much. Again, thank you so much for helping me hit the growth that we have over the last few days. Again, we've got over 40,000 views in the last day and a half. So I appreciate the love so much, guys. Thank you. Y'all have a safe, eat well. I'm from Louisiana, so we're going to eat well here like we always do. But y'all be good. I'll see you guys later. Y'all be safe. Have a happy Thanksgiving. I'll see you guys Friday. We'll probably do a short stream Friday at least. I don't think there's any economic stuff on Friday, right? Market's open, but it's a half day. We got manufacturing and services PMI Friday. So yeah, we're definitely going to stream that. For sure. But yeah, y'all be good. I'll see you guys later.